Black Disabled Women in the Humanities and Performing Arts by Gabriella Fadu. Introduction. As a connotation, disability is very broad, especially in the cultural and social sense. Do we generally acknowledge the presence of disability in everyday life as we should? This answer is no. However, observing the various environments and people around us through a disability lens gives needed exposure. The humanities and performing arts. How do we see the humanities and the performing arts through a disability lens? Can a disability lens be interconnected to other lenses involving marginalized groups of people, i.e., a blackness lens, a queer LGBTQ plus lens, or the lens of a woman? The simple answer to these questions are that the humanities and the performing arts are bound to have disability influences through disability presence and acknowledgement, and a disability lens can be perceived in multiple ways since disability does affect marginalized groups of people. Examples of Black disabled women in humanities and performing arts. These examples are as follows: Lois Curtis, Erin Rose Phillip, and Kea Brown. Disability metaphors and race. Disability, disability metaphors play a pivotal role in exploring the historical and material connections between disability and other social systems of privilege and oppression, such as race, gender, sexuality, class, and more. In text, citation Shulk 2017. That being said, regarding the lives and work of Lois Curtis, Erin Rose Phillip, and Kea Brown, I will explore the possible historical and material connections between disability and race, as well as the other social systems mentioned. Lois Curtis was born in Atlanta, Georgia, of the U.S. She died at the age of 55 from pancreatic cancer in the year of 2022. Her diagnoses in terms of her disabilities at the time when she was alive were autism and schizophrenia. Her disability influences, including her abstract art work, which was her occupation, her diagnoses of autism and schizophrenia, and including the Supreme Court case of Olmsted versus LC. This case in particular was where Lois Curtis was a plaintiff. This case determined in particular that the institutionalization of disabled people was discriminatory, as it denied them the right to educational advancement, economic opportunities, socialization, and a good quality of life. This case decision allowed disabled people to have the option to live on their own terms with state support and accommodations in community based settings. Lois Curtis's occupation was known as an artist and activist. Her sexuality at the time when she was alive is currently unknown. On this slide, you can see a few images of Lois Curtis. The first image is of her smiling in a black and white sweater with a checkered scarf. I got the image from the Respectability website, Fighting Stigmas, Advancing Opportunities. In the second photo, Curtis is also smiling while celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Olmsted versus LC. I got this image from the New York Times. And in the third image, she is smiling again in a Hawaiian-like t-shirt that is kind of black and white, and in the background there is an a sunset like portrait. I got this image from the Center for Disability Rights, Integration, Independence, Civil Rights. On this slide, there are a few paintings that Curtis herself created. The first painting is called The Woman of Olmsted, which includes a depiction of herself, her co-plaintiff Elaine Wilson, and possibly her lawyer Sue Jameson. The second painting is called the Shy Girl, which she painted in 2009, where a black woman is in an orange dress. She has her eyes closed and she looks sort of withdrawn. For me personally, I can interpret this painting as Lois herself when she was forcibly institutionalized for the past 2 decades. In the third painting, there's a woman in a pink hat with a pink overcoat behind a gray background. I got this image from the Georgia Council on Developmental Disabilities, and I'm not sure what the name of the painting is, but it is categorized under the MAD Summer 2014. For the painting of the Shy Girl, I got the image from the Washington Post. Erin Rose Phillip was born in Antigua and Barbuda, but was raised in New York as a child. She's currently aged 22 and has a disability diagnosis of cerebral palsy. Her disability influences in terms of her occupation as a fashion model include trans modeling and disability fashion and modeling. And her sexuality is known as non-binary, gender non-conforming, and she identifies as a transgender woman. Here is a quote from Erin Rose Phillip. Community to me means being able to live amongst others in love, mindfulness, and care. One thing Erin Rose wants to see in the beauty and fashion industry is more inclusivity by casting a number of diverse models that are not just cis, white, and able bodied. Here are a few photos of Erin Rose. The first photo is of her in a very colorful getup in terms of like her hairpiece with some flowers surrounding her wheelchair. This image is from Metal Magazine, Europe, and the photo surrounds a very colorful yellowish background as well. The second photo is a black and white photo where Erin Rose has a very fierce look where she's wearing a gray hoodie over her head with a crown-like beret in her hair, some neck pearls, and a very I would say booming leather jacket with a croc-like purse. This image is courtesy of Moschino but I got the image from the Teen Vogue website. Excuse me. The third image is of her in a very bright yellow, vintage like aesthetic getup, and it looks like she's rolling down the runway. This photo is also courtesy of Moschino, but I got the image from the InStyle magazine. Here are a few more photos of Erin Rose. This photo on the left shows her in a green bralette with white polka dots and denim jeans with black heels with like golden braids in her hair. And this image I got from WIC News, and she's posing behind a green tile-like background. The last image is of her in a coat and dress from the Pringle of Scotland, and she's posing with a very intense look behind a gray film-like background. And she has short blonde twists in her hair, and she's just looking straight into the camera. The last but not the least is Kea Brown. Kea Brown was born in New York. She's aged 31 and also, like Erin Rose, has a diagnosis of cerebral palsy. Her disability influences in terms of her occupation as an author, actress, journalist, and screenwriter are disability literature, the hashtag disabled and cute, and one of her first published books, The Pretty One. She identifies in terms of her sexuality as bisexual. Brown received a BA in journalism at the State University of New York at Fredonia. On this slide, there are images of Kea Brown. In the first photo, she is smiling with excitement, wearing a gray sweater top and sitting on a bench. This photo in particular is a similar photo to the book cover of The Pretty One in particular. But I got this photo from the Disability Lead website. Excuse me. The second photo is an image of her in a pink jacket, a gray sweater, and sitting on a straw-like chair in the middle of fall-like weather. And I got this image from the Ability magazine. On this slide is a few pictures and descriptions of the books she has written. The first one on the left is The Secret Summer Promise, which she had written this year in 2023, and it's about a girl's summer adventure with her disability being cerebral palsy, CP, and how she would would navigate it, and how she would navigate not only her disability but her thoughts and feelings in the environment that she is throughout the summer. And with this second book, Sam's Supersedes, which was written and published in 2022, it's about a girl with cerebral palsy, CP, who goes school shopping with her friends. It's more or less a children's book, unlike the first, which is a young adult novel. And the last one, which was her first published book ever, called The Pretty One, is a candid memoir type book which explains Brown's experiences with ableism, racism, standards of beauty, and her personal experiences with dating, life with cerebral palsy, and pop culture. This was written in 2019. The first image I got from the Levine Carrido website, the second I got from Ability Magazine, and the third image I got from the Simon and Schuster website. Significance of Black disability influences in the humanities and the performing arts. From what I've learned about all these Black disabled women in terms of their life and careers, the significance and the legacy that they bring, it shows that there is a forming Black disability culture and community. It also shows commonly overlooked forms of Blackness, promotes Black disability acceptance, promotes Black disabled womanhood, which is not aligned to specific stereotypes attributed to gender and a narrowized, often closed-minded concept of womanhood. It promotes Black disability arts and culture, promotes Black disability and Black trans fashion, promotes Black transness and queerness, and encourages Black disabled artists, actors, actresses, singers, and more in their respective fields to keep going for the career that they want, because oftentimes, more than not, disabled people are discouraged from taking on certain opportunities and certain advancements that could improve their quality of life and not only help with recognition of various disability communities. Significance of Black disability influences in the humanities and performing arts in disability studies. This also promotes Black disability arts and culture and shows that Black disabled women and overall people can live quality lives with their disabilities. It could possibly promote a Black disability studies curriculum highlighting intersectionality, involving privilege and oppression, and would possibly help with conducting fulfilling research of Black disabled people in several aspects of life. That could be experiences with lifelong disabilities, social interactions, the arts, and lifestyle. My personal opinion, I think that representation of Black disabled women in the humanities and performing arts gives Black disabled women like me to have a sense of meaning and belonging, since we do not fit the idolized standard of beauty and characteristics of a woman. It reminds me that we can live as whoever we identify because Blackness, disability, and womanhood does not have to fit one mold. We can live and have freedom in our own right. Conclusion: the exploration of Black disabled women in the field of humanities and performing arts helps with understanding the nuanced and expansive approaches to disability, as the varied concepts of disability can help create an exciting and innovative future for Black disability studies. In text citation Shulk 2017. Overall, the representation of Black disabled women, their lives and work not only pushes forth the necessity of intersectionality, but the acknowledgement and effects of privilege and oppression in our modern society. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. In the next few minutes, I will be showing my citations. They will be located on the screen, but they will not be necessarily read aloud. Thank you.